Pioneer. Yo, what is going on guys? EJ here, bringing another Lord of the Rings Rise of the War video. Today guys, we're going to talk about a T1 commander on the good side, Faramir. He is very overlooked. I think he's very amazing. I've just been dabbling with him a little bit this season. But next season I'm going to be using him an absolute ton when I can unlock his special unique equipment, which is his cape, which we'll have a look at as well today. And see some reports with him with the cape, because I don't have him. So yeah, let's get into it, shall we? So as you can see, I've got my Faramir here. I got him level 43, so he hasn't been absolutely crazy. Now, as for gear, I don't have the world's best gear for him, but it's pretty decent. So I am running this Elven Dirk with Bane of Archers, which is very nice, especially if you bump into another commander, especially like Gandalf the Greys, that are running range. It's going to help do a lot of extra damage against those range units. Now, other things that you can use would definitely be like the purple and gold bow, like this one for example here, Merkle bow with either like elf strength or pierce would be very good alternatives. Next, I'm using the hunter skin because I am high enough respect, but as you can see, I need some elven hammers to break down some things before I can get his unique cape. But I have the hunter skin, which is really good. It does give unit defense for range plus 15, and I have range vigor on there, which reduces the amount of damage received by range units, which will be running all range units on him. While we're at the chest piece, we will have a look at his unique and the skills in that. So you need to have control of Zilligith. It will work as a united faction as well. You will need to use Faramir to defeat 5,000 evil men units, and use Faramir with dunes to achieve victories in battle 10 times. Both of these can be done on mobs, guys, so yeah, just letting you guys know. But as you can see, the stats are amazing. You're going to get a buff to might, focus, and commander speed, as well as unit defense for men is going to be buffed as well. Obviously, he works really good with manish units. But the big one is the big skill here, Ithilien Ambush, which for the first 2 rounds, Faramir and allied ranged units gain initiative and damage plus a certain amount of percent. I think it's up to like 50%, guys. It's absolutely insane. So initiative and extra damage for not only your units, but Faramir as well, because he does do some good commander damage, is really good. Now here, this is, obviously I don't have very good equipment here at all, because it's on my other commanders. But anything from like things like a bone helmet and stuff, it's going to increase might, HP and stuff, chance to do madness and things like that. Even a trapper's hood could be very useful here. You have a lot of options for the helmet. Obviously I've just got this on here because I don't really have much anything else. The next thing is the Wizard Fireworks. Now this is really good. Or anything like a Hiflane could work good with HP buffs and stuff like that, especially with some good skills on there. But I feel like the Wizard Fireworks is really good because you're going to get some extra damage with your ranged units, but you can also get the skills where you can get extra pursuit, which can be very good against Gil-galad, or you can get ranged might, which I have on here, which increases my damage dealt by 9% at maximum. I'm not fully maxed at the moment, but 7.4%. So yeah, really decent there. Now, with his skilling tree, it's pretty set forward on what you want to do. You want to work on his R1 range of Ithilien. As you can see, this is a rush attack, so it's going to do 330% physical damage, but then next round all allied units will gain initiative. So this will go throughout the battle every 2 rounds, so that's really good with a max level effect of 15 might. We then have Flanking, which is the commander skill, which does 480%, which prioritizes range units, so this is very useful as well. Then we have Rush as well, another Rush ability, which is going to do a lot of physical damage very quickly before the other armies can attack on the other side. We then have Guide, which for the first 2 rounds, all allied units will physically have their damage increased by 45%, and while damage is increased, your army will gain stun immunity. Very good ability there. We then have Armed Escort, guys, which does physical damage, but then also one allied unit does recover 90% HP, so he does have a little bit of healing effect. So with saying that, with the gear, if you're using it like a Hiflane, if you got like Mend on there, that can help as well with a little bit extra healing. Then we have Foresight, which for the first 4 rounds, all allied units have a 70% chance to gain pursuit. Now, if you want to save points and not put points in this because you've got gear that helps you do pursuit, you're going to have an extra 7 points to use in the R5 category, guys. Now, R5 is pretty good. It's here or here, where basically it just increases your defense and it does stack. With a max level effect of 15 focus. I wouldn't recommend maxing this. I would go with the more damaging skills that I have already. And then your extra points you just want to throw into, like Galleon. It's very good. It's going to increase your might and speed for the commander. And then men damage. Now, there's not a lot of manish ranged units, but you can work with quite a few. So for troop composition, of course, you want to be running a full ranged unit troop setup. Now, if you're in one of the factions like Lindon, for example, and have tier 4 ranged, they can be very good. But let's just say you don't have any tier 4 like your Gondor or something like that. So you have a few options here like Sentinels. If you can get access to the Wozers, these are very good. They're going to be able to do some poison damage. As well, they do get initiative as well, which is really good. And they also have poison reduction as well, which is very good. Of course, without a doubt, would be the sharpshooters, which I've got some extras here, so I'm just going to max that out. So the sharpshooters are, without an absolute doubt, one you want to be using on there. So yeah, if you can do like a combination of like Sentinels, Wozers, and sharpshooters, it's going to be very good. Also, the Bow Knights are also a very good troop to be using as well. And then, of course, earlier on, you've got like your marksmen and that you can be using, and your longbowmen, like in the earlier aspects of the game before you get into some heavy PvP. Right here, guys. So now moving on to some reports here, we're going to have a look at like versing a Faramir first. So my THEODEN is like godly, like very strong. As you can see, I'm respect 19, level 50 there, guys. And you're going to see exactly how well Faramir actually did. It may not look that good on paper, but when you see the actual stats of the breakdown, you'll see. So this guy was using Faramir. He didn't have any tier 4, but he was using like some Dale Watchman here, which was very interesting. But if you come look at the tail of the tape, you can actually see that he actually did more damage than THEODEN did to him, which is really good. You can also see his healing ability in effect. If we go have a look at his gearing and skilling, you can see he has an amazingly built one. Like I said, he's got the range might, he's using like a trapper's hood, and he's using pretty much everything that I talked about before. That's very interesting. But he's also got the ranger's cape, which is going to help an absolute ton. Skilling wise, he's gone, he hasn't put a lot of points into these ones, especially rush, which is interesting. Since he's gone with a big defensive build as well. I'm not sure what respect level he is, but I know he's at least respect level 10. And as you can see, the reason he's gone with manish units, because he's done the extra plus damage there. The dunes there as well, that is a possibility to add on there as well. This can be quite useful if you bump into like Gandalf the Greys with full range as well. So that is a smart option as well. You don't have to do all full range. So that's, yeah, quite an interesting build. But as you can see from the tail of the tape, he did out damage me in this fight, which is very interesting. You can see the damage breakdowns. The dunes actually did a lot of damage to my Bow Knights, as you can see there. And then you can see the amount of damage that I did to him. The extra defense definitely helped him without an absolute doubt in that battle as well, guys. So here we are, guys. You can now see this was my Faramir, his first battle. You can see that I was using my tier 4 range, Bow Knights, and I was using Sentinels as well. So I wasn't using any manish units there at the time. Just because I didn't have any, I need to actually make some for him. But as you can see, I was using a full Elven build with him. I had the same gear that I showed you before. But it was pretty good as well because it did work with some of like the stats and that, because I did have some elf buffs on here and stuff like that. So it does help. But as you can see, we did quite well. We were 3 levels lower than this Gandalf the Grey. And as you can see, if we have a look at the breakdown, we did not too bad whatsoever. We actually out-healed Gandalf the Grey. Obviously, he probably because he had his non-skilling. We can have a look at his skilling in that, I guess. I I definitely outgeared him, but it's not the world's worst gear on this Gandalf the Grey, without a doubt. And he's definitely gone the right way in skilling. And the reason he didn't have a lot of healing, just because he didn't have a lot of points in the Grey there, guys. But you have a look at the tail of the tape. You can see, like, the damage wise was pretty even, but his healing, as you can see with the healing, just from that one skill, I was doing 25,000 HP healing, which is pretty good. And I did have tier 4, so that's definitely going to help us well, but they were the first to die. And of course that his guardmen here definitely were doing a little bit of damage to the bow knights as well. But yeah, a pretty solid battle there, without a doubt. So this last report is going to see Faramir in action versus Evil, and it's going to be versus GRIMA here. So as you can see, he's got a very nice gear setup. He's got the cape at level 3. Also, the Horseman's Helm is a good one as well, to stop madness immunity, so that's definitely going to help him against this GRIMA. As for the troop combo, he is using the Wozers, which is very nice. I don't know if I still have these. I think someone took my camp. They are really good. And then he's using the tier 4, then he's using the sharpshooters, so he's using a lot of the units that we talked about. He is versing his GRIMA, which is quite nicely geared, not the most insane. And then of course he's got these fellas here, the Reapers. We all know how strong they are. But if we go look at the tail of the tape, you can see that this is a very even, really good battle, with the damage being pretty much exactly the same. And then the total healing, he got 26,000 heal, which helps him as well. So he technically has won this battle. Now things could have went different as well. He was obviously prepared with the madness immunity, but I think that is a very smart option to be running when versing Evil, to have madness on him, so the Horseman Helm can come and clutch there. But as you can see, Faramir is extremely good. I'm definitely going to be working on him more next season. As you can see, you will get 2 Elven Hammers at the end of the season. And if I go into my items here, I do have an A1 shield that I can break down. I could probably break down the axes. I don't really use them. And I think I could break this down as well, because I do think Aragorn's alright, but a little bit overrated as well. So I have some options there, without a doubt. But anyway, guys, I'm going to wrap up with the video there. I hope you guys enjoyed. And until next time, peace out, EJ's out. And I'll catch you guys later. See yas. Of the EJU.